And a very good morning to yourself. We are Thursday, just about there at the weekend, Thursday the 28th of January, weekend eve. Absolutely, it really, really is. I hope you are well. This is 9 a.m. here in the UK, so we are Wake Up Call with Craig. I am with you Monday to Friday, every single day. Monday to Friday, for the 5 days of the week. If you guys stateside, if you're not watching live, whether you've got up to watch or you've stayed up, then you can always catch back anytime, whenever you like. And what you can even do is, it doesn't even just go for you guys stateside, anyone can watch back, either on the feed on Facebook, but the best place always to go is YouTube, is where you're going to be able to watch all past shows from Crafter's Companion. What you can do as well is watch on the website. You can watch and shop at the exact same time, details right along the bottom, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.co.uk or .eu. But what I want you to do is I want you to get talking. I want you to get chatting. What I want as well is all of you that always chat away, I want you to keep that going. Anyone that's been watching for a while, or maybe a bit too nervous to write a wee comment on the feed, or you're a bit scared, or you just don't know what to do, just write a wee comment, just say morning. Even if you want to say first time comment, and just say morning, and we'll read it out and just say a good morning back to you. All day today we've got jam-packed show, quite a lot of shows. I'll go over that just shortly. But within today's show, we're going to go over and pick out a few of my kind of favourites from throughout today anyway. We've also got Debbie Fisher. She's going to be popping in, where we're going to have a wee bit of a chat as well. And what we want to tell you as well, when you are going to be shopping, you're in our club, what you're going to be getting is, are you ready for this? Double points. Absolutely. You are then going to be getting double points. That's all weekend, Laura? All weekend, so great chance to actually bump up those points if that's what you're looking to do. Now, it is Thursday, which means it's a Throwback Thursday. Now, you may have seen on our social, we've popped this picture up for you to be guessing as to who this is. Now, who do you think this one is? Look at that little cutie pie there. That is one of our crafting experts. I think it's fair to say it's not me. They're definitely not me, but you never know, you never know. My mum, she was the first one commenting this morning saying she's ready to be watching the show. She can vouch that it's definitely not me, but who do you think it is? So using that strap coming up in a moment, I want you to get on, get social, tell us, who do you think it is from our TV team? And one lucky winner, guesses it right, depending on where you are, you're going to get either a £20 or a $20 voucher that you can then shop on our website. And there's no rush for you to actually spend it. However, keeping in mind, it's double points all this weekend. So we've got some great shows, including the big boss. She's in the building as well today, and I'll tell you a wee bit more about that as well. But let's tell you about what's coming up later on today on Masterclass. We have got our Gemini 3D embossing folders, and this also has stencils in with them. So you're going to do your embossing like you would usually do, but then you've got the stencils where you can then actually go over the top with your inking. You can do all these incredible effects. It's Ben in the building. He's going to be holding fort all throughout the day. But what we've got when it comes to Masterclass is we've got Debbie Fisher. So Masterclass, that's going to be 1 p.m. here in the UK. It is going to be 8 a.m. Eastern time, or it's going to be 5 a.m. Pacific time. So Debbie, I know, always got lots of ideas and hints and tips when it comes to them ones. Then, are you ready for this? Now, I've been doing this big build-up. A couple of weeks ago, I done a Facebook Live using our beautiful butterfly and the statement die. You guys have gone absolutely mental. You've been on Amazon, you've been on eBay, you've been on all these different sites trying to get that statement butterfly. Guess what? We've now got it in stock. That statement butterfly is back. It is flying, but tell you what, Adam, can you come back to me a minute? You buy that statement butterfly, right? You buy the statement butterfly, you get the whole lot included. You get the rest. So that is your stamps, that's your butterfly and dies, that is your actual border die as well. But you buy the statement butterfly and you're getting the whole lot included. That is going to be showcased later on today on Cartload. I am going to be giving you a wee bit of a peek when it comes to that just very, very shortly. But Cartload, it's not 2 hours. No, it's Sarah doing it, so it's not 2 hours. It's 3 hours. Although, I'm going to explain this in a wee bit more detail later on. In some ways, it's going to be continuing into a 4 hour. but it's not cartload. I'll explain that just shortly. Well, I'll tell you, the 4th hour is, what are we? Craft vault. So we're going straight to 4 hour, but you don't need to worry, don't need to change anything or do different feeds. I will talk you through that just very, very shortly as well. So as you can tell, jam-packed day as we do. We've got Ben throughout the day, but we've also got Debbie and Sarah doing all the demonstrations. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to kick things off with craft vault, and this is what's going to be coming up. So if you want to do your stamping, you want to do your colouring, you want to do your blending, maybe you have never quite got into it yet, you're always a bit concerned, how do I start, where do I start, what do I do, then we've got a good bit of a, excuse me, I don't know what's been going on with my hair the last couple of days. I look like a peacock or a parrot or something. Anyway, it's not important. We've got this little bundle. We're going to talk you through it just in a moment. I've even brought in some of our stamps from our Knitwick collection that will do them. But let's have a look, see what everyone is saying. We've got Vicky on Facebook saying, morning everyone from a dark, wet and rainy Nottinghamshire. Oh my gosh, it is so wet and rainy today, although there was a bit of snow, but there was that much rain that it's not going to lie. Well, hopefully not anyway. Donna on Facebook saying, good morning, great way to start the day. Coffee and Craig. I like the coffee and Craig. That'd be good, eh? Might actually have coffee and not Craig, but I'll have a bit of cake later on. Sounds good. Sandra on YouTube saying, morning, CTV crew and Crafty Fens. Good morning. I don't know if you heard that, but they did shout. Both Laura and Adam. Yeah, if you shout really loud, Laura, they might hear you, but give me warning so I can turn you down. No, don't worry, Adam, you don't have to do it, don't worry. You say morning. You say morning. What was it, the big speakers in the room? Is that what you were saying?
Morning.
Ah, there you go, there's a good one. Yeah. Oh, it's like a foghorn. We've then got Sally Bond on Facebook saying hi from Brunton, North Devon. Hi to you. We've got Pink Bubbles on YouTube saying hi, Craig, from Ochterada. That reminds me of an old TV show. I was too young to actually watch it, Ochterada, but I've remembered hearing about that one. We've then got June on Facebook saying yes, newcomers, please come and say hello. I suffer from severe anxiety, we'll get there, but this group is so friendly. Thank you so much for saying that, June. So yeah, what I want you to know is if you are commenting all the time, good, keep doing it, love hearing you, but if you've maybe a bit nervous, a bit scared to comment, just say hi and just say good morning, and we'll give you a bit of a shout out as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus a little bit on our Spectrum Noir. This is coming up in Craft Vault very, very shortly. Now within this one here, what you're getting is you're getting our tri-blends, and this is our coastal blends for this one here. We're even giving you an alcohol-proof ink pad, which works with your alcohol pens, but then you're even getting the small stamping platform. You're going to be getting the stamping platform for free. I know, another freebie as well. And these are going to work well together. The only additional thing I would pop into the basket, it was out of stock, it was due in, I don't know if it's in just yet, but it's Nina cardstock, so you can always just keep an eye out for that one, but we'll go through a bit of the colouring in a moment. So what we're going to do is I've already just die cut a circle. So this is our stitched edge circle die that I've already just die cut into our Nina for this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in one of these stamps. So one of these stamps I'm choosing, this is from Knitwick collection, Bloomin' Grace, that Leanne launched yesterday. So I'm going to take one of these ones here. So if you do like the look of the Knitwick collection, it is still on the website. And I'm going to say just one more time, I've had so many people saying, oh Craig, but I know when you launched it on HSN, there was the Bloomin' Grace and there was obviously the Positivities one. Don't fear, it's coming. I'm launching it. So what we can do now is bringing in, so's Laura. So what we've got is we've got the flagstone. Now this is the flagstone that you're getting within this bundle. So I just pop my stamp onto my stamping platform, and what I'm going to put that there, so it's I don't know if it's easier to see, but a little bit. Now I'm taking my ink. Now this ink pad is perfect because it is our alcohol ink pad, and we can see we've got a picture of an alcohol pen here. And with this one here, although it's called flagstone, and what it is, it's more of a dark grey, however, it's It's a nice one to use as an alternative to black. Sometimes black can just be overpowering depending on what you're colouring, certainly florals or flowers, or it could be nature. So your flagstone is a good one to pop in. Now I'm just pressing all the way down. Our stamping platform have got spring feet, so it's easy, and you're going to get a crisp, clean image that you can see here. Let me just take a little bit of that ink before I pop my hand in the middle. Now what we can do is I'm going to bring in a couple of colours of the tri-blend. So this is from the Coastal Blends, which is also within the collection. And this is what you're going to get. So within the back, you're going to be getting the ice blue, blue turquoise, blue, true blue, light green, jade green and green turquoise blend. Now with this one here, if you're familiar with our classic pens, so what you've got is you've got like the one colour, but you've got 3 pens. You've got, for instance, red, one pen's a light, one's a mid and one's a dark. What we've got now, we've got that same concept, however it's all in one pen. So if I take the jade green blend, this side is the deep tone, and then this side is the lightest tone, but then we can go into the middle, and that's now your mid-tone. So instead of having 3 separate pens like you would have with your classiques, you've only got the one pen. It cuts down on cost, and also it cuts down on space as well when it comes to actually storing them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a piece of cardstock here, and because this is alcohol, what we would say is always put a bit of cardstock underneath. It could be scrap, could be copy or paper, just something for you to colour and lay down that colour. What I'm going to do is let's skip actually to the light green, because we'll do some of these leaves. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my mid-tone here. Lots and lots of ideas, inspirations, tutorials across on our YouTube, especially with Colour Me Happy, with Leanne and Sarah, so you can always check them out afterwards. Going in with the light tone here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this very, very basic. Lots of ideas, as I say, across on YouTube as well as our Facebook pages. And now that I've gone in with my light tone, what I'm going to do is circular motions. In some ways, I'm priming my cardstock. I'm laying down that base colour. Like to do in circular motions to make it nice and smooth. And what I'm going to do is come about 2/3 of the way up, and I'm going to leave it like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm now going to flip my pen over into the dark side. I know we're going to the dark side on this one, not on a Thursday. But what we're doing is we're going to go at the dark, and now what I'm going to do, the same, I'm going to do circular motions, and what we can do is come maybe about 1/4 of the way up. Now as you get more experienced, if you get better and better as you work on it, what you can do is you can start doing shading and things like all the fine areas, the veins and that with the leaves, but I'm just want to keep this bit simple. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then go into my mid-tone, which is here, and then I'm not going completely over that dark tone. What I'm doing is just where that dark and the light meet, circular motions, I'm blending that 2 colours out. Now what I'm doing is I am going to go over completely over that light tone, and I'm only going as far up as I have done originally, and if I need to blend a little bit more out I can. And it's alcohol, so it's going to evaporate. You just need to give it a couple of minutes or so to evaporate. The longer you leave it to evaporate, as I say, a couple of minutes, you're going to get that seamless blend from the layers you've just done. Now to finish this off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the light tone, and I'm going to do exactly the same I'd done a moment ago. I'm not going to go completely over this area. All that I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over that leading edge, circular motions, and I'm going to finish that one off. I'm going to come right to the point. Now straight away from up above, can you see how we're getting to get that depth? We've gone from that deepness and we're starting to go lighter and lighter and lighter. What you can do as well is, I don't want you to think though, if you get this bundle here, you have to use the tri-blends in the way that I'm wanting. If you want to use them as standalone colours, you can do. So for instance, let's use the mid-tone of the green, and we can colour in that full leaf within this one tone. You don't need to do blending or shading if you don't want to. You can absolutely use it as a standalone colour. But you've got that option, you've got that versatility if you do like to do all these different techniques when it comes to your colouring, especially with your alcohol. You're able to do that with the tri-blends. And as I say, the classics open up a wider selection of colours, but then with the tri-blends, what you get is you get all your core colours, because there is obviously other actual bundles out there of tri-blends, but having this bundle, what you can do is you can even do a bit of a try me if you want, or even as a gift as well. So with these ones here coming up on Craft Vault, $24.98 for that little bundle, $36.90 for you guys stateside, and within that bundle what you're actually doing is that 4x4 stamping platform is actually for free. So perfect for, as I say, either a guide, gift, or for a little treat me for yourself if you want to. But let's go back, let's have a look and see what everyone else is saying now. I've got my cup of tea good to go. We've got Serenity saying, Craig, it's your fault. We all need that butterfly. You used it. I know, it really was. You guys went crazy when I used it on my Facebook Live, and thankfully we've managed to get it in. It's not going to be around for long, so make sure that you do get that into your basket. Remember, although it's on cartload later on, you can still buy it now. They're all live. Everything from today is live. So go across, pop it in your basket. Double points as well. We've got Kate on YouTube is mental for a butterfly. I know, never. Yeah, you guys went mental for that butterfly, you did. We've got Sandra on YouTube saying, my hubby put my cartload order in at 1 a.m. this morning. What a lovely surprise. What a lovely husband. He's a keeper. He's absolutely a keeper. You see the strap along the bottom, so get social, get your comments in, say hi, or maybe just say good morning. But what you can then also do, and I need you to do, is we are away to show you a picture. Throwback Thursday. Here we go. Who's this little cutie pie? Now look at that now. Who, out of our crafting expert, is this? I am going to give you a bit of a clue. It's not me. It's not me, unless my mum put little bows and dresses on me when she was little. But what you can do is, if you guess it right, so going onto your the feed of either YouTube or of course on Facebook, if you get it right, one lucky winner is going to win either £20 or $20 voucher that you can then spend on any crafty goodies across on our website. Anything else as well that you see me using that I don't reference is always on that website, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. Now it's time for a 101, and this is something as well that I get asked. It's kind of always their theme. The reason we do these is because they are things that get asked every now and again. An envelope with our Ultimate Pro is one that I get asked quite a lot, and actually it's not just me, it's a few of us that get asked about that one. So what I've done is I've brought in my Ultimate Pro, and I've brought some cardstock as well. So if we take all them out the way, so I've got my Ultimate Pro already here. I've taken some cardstock, and I'm going to explain the sizes in a moment, because we're going to do a nice simple envelope to fit a 5x7. 5x7 is one of those that's becoming really, really popular. Has been for a while, but it seems to be growing in trend as, you know, kind of the back end of last year went on into this year. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our Ultimate Pro here. Now for this one, I have followed the guide that comes within your Ultimate Pro. What I want to say as well, the guide for your Ultimate Pro, this one is in centimetres. Now, I know stateside you do inches, and actually a lot of us here in the UK do inches. If you go onto our website, there is that section of downloads. You go into that section, you can download the booklet for the Ultimate Pro. You can download the guides for your envelope maker, your envelope box maker, your scoreboards. All that is there for you to download, so you can do that at your heart's content. But what we're going to do is we're going to go for this guide just to show you how easy it is to do the envelope on the Ultimate Pro. So what I'm doing is 7x5 envelope. Now what I need centimetres is cardstock that's 24.5 centimetres by 24.5 centimetres, or what you can do is 9 3/4 by 9 3/4 inches. It's slightly, couple of millimetres bigger than the centimetres, but it's still going to work no problem at all. So what I've got is I've got my cardstock here that is 9 3/4 by 9 3/4. To create an envelope that is 7x5 inches, what I need to do is I need to use line F and D. So what we can do, we're going to go into our Ultimate Pro. All of these letters, these are all embossed. They're not going to rub off. They're not going to come off. They're all along the bottom here, or along the top, from A all the way up to G. So then what I'm going to do is, if I bring in my scoring tool, and I thought I was on the ball today, having it all ready, but do you know what? There's always something, oh no, always something to forget. Well, I didn't forget, it was just in my Totally Tiffany bag. So what we can do is we can then come into this corner here. So it is a 90-degree corner that you can see here. What I'm doing, popping it right into as far as I can go. Now remembering, what I need to do is use line F and D. So if I pop that right into the corner, so if we go onto line F, and what I'm going to do, it'll be easier to go this way, because you've got the letters along the bottom here as well. So I'm going to score all the way up, so that's line F. Now what I need to do at this point, I need to flip it completely over onto the other side. So we've done the score line at this side. So we need to do F again here. So scoring. Then what we need to do is these two sides here. So turning it around. So now that we can do line D. So we score into D. And then we turn it around and we score it D once again. And by doing it this way, this is going to create a flat, simple envelope for your 5x7. So I can move that one out the way. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I've scored them, so I'm going to burnish these lines first. And we're going to fold them over. And I want to keep this one very, very simple. But by following what I've just done a moment ago, if you follow the guide that comes within the Ultimate Pro or on the website, you can also make it so it's a couple of millimeters in depth. So you can then start to add a wee bit of depth if you do a bit of layering or decoupage. Then what we can do is where the lines have crossed over, you've got a little triangle here. So we just need to snip that out. So we're just snipping the triangle there. And we're going to do that on all four sides. So we can do that one, and then we're going to just snip them out. So we're taking this one here. And then we can finish this one off. So you can now think about the cards that you like to make. You're not now stuck to having to make cards to fit specific envelopes. You can then come along and make pretty much as many envelopes as you want, size-wise. And then you can make them to actually fit your cards. So then what I'm going to do is if I bring in my tape runner, I don't want my dotty one, let's bring in a straight one. So over these two edges here, on this fold, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my tape here. I'm also going to pop my tape there. And then what we can do is we can fold this one over. Now you can either bend this triangle back on itself or leave it as a point. I like to leave it as a point because I think it works really well. But there, that's then going to fit your 5x7 envelope and your card. You can pop that over the top. If you've got maybe your wax seal that you could use that, you can use maybe a bit of tape. What you do also get as well, again, check out the website to see if it's in stock, but you do get envelope gum as well. So you can put a bit of gum all the way around, let it dry, and then what you can do is then just moisten it for it to stick. Obviously at the moment, don't be licking any of your envelopes or that, just with what's going on in the world, but you can just moisten it with a paintbrush or, you know, a bit of water on your finger, but you've got that option. So that's how you can do the envelope, a simple 5x7 envelope for your Ultimate Pro. So many different ones that you can do as well. Keep in mind that you can go on our website, download all of the guides as well, crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu, and do what I do, print them out and then pop them into a little folder, or it's a what folder have I got? A4 folder, and I've just got them all situated. So, one down, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look to see what's coming up very, very shortly on Masterclass. So we have got our 3D embossing and folders. So this is our 3D embossing folders that also have the stencils to go with it. So what you can then do is you can then do your embossing. You can then come along, you can do your inking as well. So it's going to then just refine the imagery that you get within the embossing. And you can use them as standalone, or you can use them together if you want. As we always say, it's always entirely up to yourself. But you're getting, within the big bundle, if you go for it, you're going to get the 6 of them. So this is 6 pieces in total. You're getting lovely roses. You're getting beautiful lilies. You're getting hummingbird, floral butterfly, delicate dandelion, and Precious Poppy. So these are the ones. Now within that one, as I say, it is a 6-piece, but within each pack what you're getting is you're getting your embossing folder, but you're getting 2 stencils as well that you can do your inking through if you want. And as we always say, use them together or use them standalone, it's entirely up to yourself. So what I'm doing is, let's bring in my bits. Now I've been doing a bit of a tease with this card over the last couple of days because we're going to make, as we're getting close to Valentine's, I thought what we will do is we will make, oh thank you Laura, do you want it for your partner? No, okay. He's loved, isn't he? What we're going to do is we're going to then use this card. Now, it's kind of like a 2-for on this one. So we're going to show you the embossing folder with the stencils. I'm going to show you how you can trim it down. You don't need to use the full size. But also, question that I get asked quite a lot is how you like to, or you want to make larger cards. I'm ignoring what you're saying, so just stop it. Just stop it. I'm not sending it to anyone. What many of you ask is you like to do smaller cards, but what you want to do is you want to then put them on a bigger base. I better put that back in, just, you know, keep me right. You want to put them on a bigger card. You want to make an 8x8 card, but you're a bit scared of having all of that focal bit all the way around. I've obviously missed the start of a conversation there. So what we're going to do, I know, that's what I get for taking my earpiece out. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start that again because I didn't even make sense to myself. Many of you like to do your smaller cards, but you say, I want to do a larger card, I want to do an 8x8 card, but I'm kind of scared because you've got all that area to fill. I don't know how to fill it. What do? I don't want to see white space. As you can see, I've not filled it with a lot of products or cardstock or dies, and I've got a good substantial white border all the way around, so we've got white space. So what we can do is we can then bring in my cardstock. So we've got our white smooth stamping card for this one, and I'm going to bring in my folder. So let's go for the lovely roses on this one. So let's bring in our folder. So we're going to do the embossing first. So we're going to pop our cardstock into place. So as you would do with any of our folders, popping that one in. Because it's our 3D, what I'm going to do is our base cutting plate. We are then going to bring in our magnetic shim and then our plastic shim. This is going to go through. I'm using the Junior, of course. It will, of course, go through your large Gemini, and it'll even go through your Gemini Midi. If you're using your Gemini Midi, you don't need any shim whatsoever. Let's just see a lot of comments as well. Right, so far, no one's got the throwback. A couple that have been posting doesn't seem to have it right as of yet. So here's the picture again. Who is this? From our TV team, who is that little cutie pie? Remember, get your comments in onto Crafters TV feed, and whoever does win it, gets it right, will get either a £20 or a $20 voucher. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in my emboss now straight away onto the white, so we can kind of see it here. But what we're then going to do, let's bring in our stencils. So we've got 2 of them. Now I'm going to go in with this open weave stencil first, because what we can do is pop this one over the top. Now you can use our temporary spray if you want to. I like to just pop it down with our tape. So if I pop this one on, and what I'm doing is I'm just placing it over the top of my emboss. So we're popping it in with that bit of tape. As I say, in case anyone's wondering, it is the purple. So it's our stick and spray, and that's our repositional one. That's good if you want to use that for the stencils. Or you can do what I just do sometimes, and that's use our low tack tape. Have a look, see what you feel easier doing. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to bring in my water reactive. So I'm going to go with Spa Blue, and I'm going to go with Anthracite. And I know what you're thinking. For a rose, a Valentine's Day card, but you've seen from that little picture I showed you there how well it works. Very monochrome within this one. So what we can do is I'm going into that lighter grey first. Although it's Spa Blue, it's more of a grey in my opinion. So what we can do is I'm going to work that colour over the top, and I'm going to work it round and round. Now, I am being careful because I've not used our spray, which means obviously it is going to come up in places if I knock it with my blending tool. So if you are concerned with that, absolutely get your hands on the spray. Well, I know it's an issue. I know it's kind of like Spraygate, isn't it, for you guys stateside trying to get your hands on these sorts of sprays. But if you are able to get it, it's worthwhile doing that one, just so that you're not going to be lifting up any of the parts of the stencils. But what we can do is we can just go over the top, and I'm still using my Spa Blue. I'm not being, you know, overly cautious or anything like that. What I'm really just doing is getting that colour down. I'm working in circles, I'm doing bits of dabbing, I'm not overly worried because I want to kind of get that free flow and kind of like that organic, unnatural look. And that works well with the colours as well. It may be deeper in some areas than others. So if I lift that one up, now straight away, even if you leave it like that, how well that looks. But we are going to go into our next stencil. And this one's got a lot less detail. And what that's done, that's going to create that shadowing. So you think about our stamps that we've got that are our layering stamps. Now it's that sort of idea, but within stencil form. So what I'm going to do once again, I'm layering that straight over the top. And I'm going to tape that down with my low tack tape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my anthracite. And we're going to lay that colour up. And then once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into all of these little bits. And what's happening is that is actually going to create the highlight of the rose, of the bud, of the foliage. And what I've done is I've gone just with the one, well, the two colours, the one theme of grey, but you can then mix and match. You know, we've had a few shows in the past where you maybe do the roses in red, and you do the leaves and the foliage in a green or that. So you can mix the colours if you want. You don't have to do it all as one colour tone. But I'm going to finish off there, just adding that little bit more. And then let's move that to the side. If I then peel that one off, just look at that. How effective is that? And that's very, very simple. And what we want to say as well is that is still classed as mixed media because you're mixing a lot of your mediums together. You know, if you want to come across with some sparkled paste instead, then you can do as well. You can do that. You're just going to wash the stencils in warm soapy water or maybe a baby wipe, and that's going to get rid of any of the colour. But what I need to do as well is I need to check my cardstock. So 4 3/4. So I'm going to bring in my guillotine. Now I need to trim this to 1 3/4, and I want to just kind of like have the centre bit. So this is where I tend to do a bit of a guesstimate. So I'm going to cut from round about there. So 4 3/4, and I'm going to do the same here. So if I come in there, so I'm just trimming and trimming. So the 4 3/4, that is actually the width of the design. So that is where you're going to get the 4 3/4. And I've just matched that, so we've got that perfect square. So you don't have to use the full image if you don't want to. Then what I'm going to do is let's bring in some black cardstock and bringing in my tape runner for this one. So if we pop this one on, now this is where you could pop this onto a 5x5 card or a 6x6 card. So if we pop that one in here, and then I did have a card blank. Now, if you have a little bit of pattern paper on the background, then that would be a nice little 6x6 card, or 5x5. But when so many people say, I want to do an 8x8, but I'm scared. So what I say is all that you want to do is bring in your 8x8 card blank and just fill it. You know, not overly much, but just fill it with a square of cardstock or paper. So what I'm doing with this one is we're going to go over the top. So this pattern paper is from our 8x8 pop-up. So this layer is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. And my black matte layer is just a couple of millimeters bigger. So that is now, so we're going to go from fill-in to an extra layer. Don't worry, don't be scared of white space, in my opinion. Sometimes it can look really, really effective, as this card does. So we can then bring this layer in. I've already used my alphabet die. So these were our 0.5. These are an old die set. These are part of our old Desire range. So I've done Happy and Day. Let's bring this layer back in. So we're going to take our pads off here. If you want to keep it flat, then you can do. So if I pop these ones in, sit that one in the middle, and then also, last but not least, I've done just a bit of a banner of a strap, and what we can do is if we take this one off as well, pop that right along the middle, and then there we go. So we're taking the 3D embossing, you know, slightly further. We've gone from what could be a small 5x5 or 6x6 card, and just by adding one layer of pattern paper, you can then expand that onto an 8x8. So it's an easier way to make it 8x8 without getting yourself too worked up or concerned about lots of focal detail of dies or stamps or anything like that. So hopefully that helps with you. So that one, if you want to see a lot more ideas and inspiration, that's going to be coming up later on with Ben and Debbie as well. So that's going to be masterclass 1 p.m. here in the UK, 8 a.m. Eastern time or 5 a.m. Pacific time. So you can catch up with Debbie and Ben there and get a lot more ideas and inspiration. Now, speaking of Debbie, hiya, how you doing? I'm good, I know.
It's quite exciting. I can't give you a hug though.
Oh, I know, it's so, do you know, for many of us, there's a lot of things obviously with what's going on in the world that's really, really annoying, but I've lost my travel buddy.
I know. It feels like forever.
It does.
Yeah.
It really,
feels like
really does.
It's nearly a year, isn't it, in a couple of months?
That's scary.
It's scary.
That is scary.
Yeah, really scary.
Rightio. Now, there's one of the things I don't actually know, and that's how did you start crafting? I've never asked you this.
So I started scrapbooking.
Right.
Yeah, scrapbooking was my thing. I had done all when the kids were young, really. So I started getting into crafting just by scrapbooking. And actually, it was my sister-in-law. My mum and dad renewed their wedding vows, and she made them a card. And I thought, oh, I could have done that. I've got all this crafty stuff that I do for scrapbooking. I could have made a card.
Yeah.
And it just evolved from there. I started making all these cards and and loved it. And actually to the point where I gave up scrapbooking and just done card making.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that was that's how you started. I'm going to kind of jump forward a little bit now, and I feel like we need to have like a little warning or something like that, because we've got a real mutual love of something, don't we? And I feel like Ben needs to be in this as well, because he's the same. But
is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We all love horror films.
Yeah, we do love horror films.
We do, yeah, I know.
It's terrible, isn't it?
What is it about the horror films that you like? You know, what is it that gets you gripped?
I am waiting, Craig, for one to scare me.
Yeah.
I want to be scared,
right.
And I don't get scared. I'm afraid to say, and I do apologise, I do love a good slasher movie.
With you on that one. I'm with you on that one as well. Yeah, I agree. I think as well, you know, it's hard to actually find one now that's, you know, really, really scares us. But do you have either a favourite, or do you have one that's come close to kind of being like, whoa, kind of took me back?
There's a couple that have made me jump, but I think they would make anyone jump. They've not made me jump because it scared me, it just made me jump because it's that unexpected.
Yeah.
But I love the Saw movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love them. So yeah, they're probably my go-to. And there's a horror film actually called Eden Lake, and it's the only film that made me cry at the end. A horror film that made me cry because it was so sad.
Yeah.
So sad. It really got me, that film. But Eden Lake's an amazing horror film.
It really, really is. It's worth it if you like your horrors like
Only
that.
if you like your horrors,
I think as well, if we go with the Saw as well, because you have to think about them as well.
Yes, definitely.
You know, you've got that thing. I'm
Yes,
not
you
always
do.
good at thinking, you know, I'm like you, I like a slasher. But,
Yes.
I'm now going to skip again, you know, it's just because I know there's some that don't like the horror movies. But I'm just going to say to you, London.
Oh my God, I love London.
Yeah,
I love it. I was born in London, so it's always been close to my heart. But we moved out, my parents moved us out of London like when I was little.
Right.
So I've always had this fascination with London. And do you know what? It's one of those places that everyone knows, and you know all the major attractions. So that's where we go. But over the years, I've liked to see, I always think London has all these hidden gems.
Yeah.
So there's some really amazing places in London that people don't generally see because they just want to see the main attraction.
So you've actually been doing kind of like research and investigations and all that.
Definitely,
You know,
yeah.
is there anything that you've found that, you know, maybe we wouldn't know?
There's two of my favourite places.
Right.
So I've actually just bought a collection of books which are walks of London.
Okay.
So you can go round, so you follow the book and each page tells you where you come to and explains what you're going to. So they're next on my list to do. But there's two places in London. So have you heard of the Painted Hall?
No.
Oh my God, crazy. So anybody that loves paintings, artwork, anything like that, it's called the Painted Hall. It's in Greenwich,
Right.
South London, and it's in the old Naval College, the old Navy College, yeah. And it's a massive hall, and it's got over 3,700 square metres of hand paintings, from ceiling to wall. It's so incredible. And so I would say anyone that wants to go to London, look that up and go to Greenwich. It's amazing. And the other thing is Little Venice. Have you heard of Little Venice?
I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you what
Yeah, and people couldn't. And actually, it's so easy to find, and it's the most amazing place to go. It's behind Hyde Park, so you can get to it from Hyde Park. So it's really easy, but people miss it. And it's the canal of London. So, and you can walk the whole tow path of it. It's incredible. And what's incredible about it is all the canal boats. Most of them are tea rooms, cafes. You can walk it. It's from Paddington to it's gone up Camden. Paddington to Camden, you can walk the whole lot, and you can have high tea, you can have afternoon tea.
I did not know
and
that.
All the boats are coloured, like some of them are really quirky paintings on the boats, and all the canal boats are painted. So yeah, if you get a chance to go to Little Venice, definitely do that. It's beautiful. London's amazing, but it's those hidden gems that we don't hear about so much. So.
I know, because there's, I think maybe about 3 times I've been to London. Actually, each time I've been to Hyde Park, and I've never known about that one.
And the walk along the walk, you might catch some animals, because it actually goes behind London Zoo as well. There you go.
I know where I want to then definitely have
definitely
a
do
trip.
it. Anyone, if you're ever in London, I know we've got lots of US viewers. If you ever travel to London, you want to see all the main sites, but there's some real hidden gems in London, and that's definitely one of them.
Well, I'll certainly be keeping that in mind for sure as well. But is there, obviously, I know obviously you love London, is there anywhere else, obviously, when this is, fingers crossed, over with and travelling wise, you know, obviously I could tell that you'd go back to London, but is there anywhere else that you'd love to?
Italy's on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, I have never been to Italy, and I so want to go there. That fascinates me as well. Places fascinate me, like Italy is all built on water. And that fascinates me, because eventually it will sink. You know, there's no two ways about it. And I did look into it, and I think even the islands there, they sink around 0.5 centimetre a year.
Wow.
So eventually all those centimetres are going to sort of go under, because they are literally built on water. Gosh, that's fascinating to think that, isn't it? Debbie, thank you so much. It was so nice for you to pop in. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Can I just say, you're doing an amazing job. Love watching you in the morning.
Thank you.
You're doing brilliant.
Thank you. I just, like I said to Debbie the other day, I just love you a bit, so I just wish I could give you a hug.
Absolutely.
But you are back later on, aren't you?
I've got a masterclass today, with my favourites. I love 3D embossing folders, and not just 3D embossing folders. We've actually got, I'm looking around because there's so many cameras to look at, I don't know which one's which.
I've got to live walk and talk at the same time.
You've learned it really well. Back with embossing folders, but with stencils. So really exciting.
Brilliant.
Love
Excellent.
them.
And you love your inks and water reactive inks.
So
and that.
much so.
So that's going to be so good. I shall give you a quick chat after before we swap over again.
Nice to see you anyway.
Yes, you too.
For more than just a fleeting hello.
Bye and bye, I know. Yes, so that's going to be very shortly coming up on Masterclass with Debbie and Ben. But then what we've also got, did you know about this cartload into Craft Vault, Debbie?
I've heard. It's a biggie.
It's a biggie. So just to explain, it's Sarah is doing cartload. So it's 3 hours for the cartload. However, it's going straight into a 4th hour, which is Craft Vault. Now, after cartload, you don't need to come out and then go into another page. Stay watching. It's going to keep going into that 4th hour. But you will see on our website, you've got that option to shop the shows, but you don't have to panic if you're not going to see the event coming up on your Facebook or YouTube or that. Just watch Cartload and it will go straight in. So you're going to have an incredible 4-hour show, and that's with Sarah. 3 hours with Cartload and 1 of them in Craft Vault. And then I'm kind of to blame for this next one coming up in Craft Vault is our beautiful butterflies, and it's the Make a Statement butterflies. These ones are exactly that, making a statement. This is something that I done on a Facebook Live from home a couple of weeks ago, and I stupidly done it, not thinking if we had it in stock, and we didn't, but we've got it now. We've got it now. It's not going to be for long. And what's happening is, it's not as if you're buying half the collection, you're getting the other half or whatever. You buy that statement butterfly, which you want, you're getting the rest for free. So actually, there's another way of putting it as well. So it's not as if we're saying, well, I tell you what, if you want that statement butterfly, you've got to buy the folders, you know. You buy what you're wanting the statement butterfly, but we're still going to give you everything else for free. So that's going to be coming up, if in stock, when it comes to Craft Vault. But what we're going to do is let's show you it in action. Couldn't have a show and not actually show you it and demo with it. So I'm going to move these bits out the way, and then I'm going to bring in what I have already pre-prepped. Now we're going to make a nice little card. We're going to stick along the theme of teals and mints, and what we're going to do is I'm going to run one of the folders through, because you get the embossing folder with it as well. Now with my folder I have inked mine, so I'll skip that part. What I'll do is let's show you what it's looking like once it's embossed. I've just taken a piece of ivory cardstock, 3D embossing folder, so as you've seen me do before, what I'm doing, I'm going to close that one over. We can then bring in our base cutting plate, and because it's 3D, we need our magnetic, we need our plastic shim. That's then going to go all the way through. And then what we're going to do is once that comes out, we can do another bit of cutting. The thing with butterflies as well is we say it quite a lot, it's kind of like the unofficial symbol of crafting. We have a laugh and a joke. Small butterflies are good. If you make little mistakes or that, you want to hide them. Butterflies are good just to pop it in place. Or what you can do, and hence the name Statement Butterfly, you can make it as a statement because it's huge. If you've not seen it, I'm going to show you in a minute what it actually looks like. So this, I know this is heartsy, straight onto ivory card. Actually, you can get that idea. But what I've done is I've gone over with a bit of my Lagoon water reactive ink, and I'm not too concerned about going in the middle because we're kind of going to pop a butterfly within the middle. So what we can do is let's bring in a few of my layers already good to go. And then what we can do is let's bring, you can tell I'm kind of leaving you hanging on here because I'm going to do the butterfly last. But what we're going to do is let's also bring in, from that set that you're also getting included, is the intricate floral die. This one is a continuation one, so what that means is at each edge there's no cutting edge where my finger is, so you can make that as long as you want. You can be making it as long, you can do wraps, you can do round napkin rings or anything like that. So wafer thin die, what I'm going to do is, where's my other plates, here we go. I'm going to bring in my plastic, my magnetic, and then my top cutting plate. That's going to go through. And this will also show you exactly what I mean by actually not cutting on the edges. All of these bits I've got pre-prepped, but what we'll do is we will cut them so you can see, and then we can assemble the card. Do still get your comments coming in. I'm going to go back and read comments after this one here. Plus, what we're going to do is we're going to actually just very, very quickly, Adam, do we have that picture on the screen? Here we go. Have a look at this. Throwback Thursday. Who is this little cutie pie? We've got about 10 minutes, to get your comments in. Who's this on our TV team? Whoever gets the answer right, whoever's selected, is going to win either a £20 or a $20 voucher for you to spend. So you need to then get your answers in. The correct answer is going to be picked at random from all of you that get it right. So get them coming in soon. Now, if I take this one out, then what we could do is we could take any of these little bits out here. So taking a few of these. Now, what you will see is it cuts out at each edge, but what happens is it stays in place at the top and the bottom, or the left and the right, whichever way you want to look at it. And then what you could do is on a longer piece of cardstock, you could extend that by just running that one through your Gemini machines or any of your die cut machines you've got at home. I've done that again into our ivory cardstock, and I've created a bit of a shadow effect, so just a bit of an offset shadow. Then what we're going to do is let's go into the butterflies. So I've taken teal, mint and ivory, and here is the butterflies. These are huge. You've got 3 layers. So this back layer, where you've got that full on back layer, no detail whatsoever, that can then cut out into a card. So we're going to tape this one on. Now, if you're doing this with your large Gemini, you can do a few layers at once. Actually, you'll be able to do them all. That's right, Adam. If you have got your Pro, you can do all of these as well as the intricate border as well as any other individual elements. I feel like that should be something for tomorrow maybe. It's kind of like who's got their Pro. And yes, UK, you're not missing out. Not missing out. So what we can do is we can take this butterfly out. Now, if you want to use that on its own, you can do. Really is a statement, but keeping it simple and very, very elegant. But what we can do is let's go into the mint now. And then we're going to go into our other 2 butterflies. So this one here has got a bit less detail, and this one's got very, very little detail within it. So this one we're going to do in mint. So let's pop that one there because I might be able to get both of these done on my Junior. So there's that one. And then on the ivory, this one can then be this real intricate butterfly. So we can pop that one on. Layering these ones up into place, I'm going to just tape that to secure it. Pop that one in there, there, and there. And then as these go through, this is where you've got that statement name, because it does exactly that. For anyone wondering, the butterfly, the span of the wings is 4 3/4, and it is by 4 1/4. So you can tell how substantial it is. So if we take these out the way now, and then what we can do is we can take this butterfly. Let's bring in our die release tool. So I'm just taking out all these little bits. Then what we can do is if we show you how this one looks, so let's pop that bit out here. So carefully taking it out. Look at that one, so equally lovely to use on its own. But then let's take this butterfly, and then what we can do is if we take this one, I'm going to do this for quickness and speed. What we can do is take these ones out. Now you can see here, within the ivory, see how you've got a lot less detail. I would pop all these little bits out. They do pop out. But what I'll do is let's bring in the ones that I've cut because they're all already die cut out. What we can then do is let's bring in our tape runner. Now what I'm also wanting to say now as well, if there's any day that you're not wanting to miss, you want to tune into tomorrow. So if any Friday, past Fridays are anything to go by, let me tell you, you do not want to miss tomorrow. We have fun on a Friday, and by gosh, tomorrow is equally going to be fun. Ben's going to be joining, so need I say more? Need I say more? Now, have a look. We've got this butterfly. Oh, and actually, even a few more chances for you guys to win as well. Pushing all the stops out for the end of the week. Now here we go, so we've now got our statement butterfly. So you can see how that works. If you want to pop that all flat, you can do. Let's bring in our layers here. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to take all these ones off. I'm going to do that later because I know we're short of time. Anyone wondering that cardstock that I'm using there, I did write it down. It is from our birthday celebrations 12 by 12 paper pad, for anyone wanting to know. So let's layer these ones up. So let's take this one off there and then there. Add in extra height. Now, it's not essential to add height to these because what we've got is we've got the dimension from the butterfly wings. But I can't do a card and not lift it up with some height. Let's pop that one on. Then what we can do is let's bring this one in. So what I can do with this, let's use our dotty tape runner. So there's that one, there's this one. And I'm going to pop just some adhesive on the back. This can sit down here. We can bring in our butterfly and let's add adhesive just in the center of the butterfly. Now within this oval here, this is where I'm going to pop the butterfly. I'm going to pull the wings up that little bit more. And then what I've done from one of my font stamp sets, this is the thank you stamp set that we've got. What I've done, stamped that in Lagoon, quick dry. And now look at that. So look at that. Now, can you imagine if you've got a smaller frame, or if you even just squared this card off, you'll be able to see that you could use it for home decor, hence the name, Statement Butterfly. Now, keeping in mind, within that bundle that's coming up on Craftfall, you're buying that Statement Butterfly and you're getting the rest for free. So do tune in to Ben and Sarah for that one. What I want to do is I'm looking out for the one that's got the Statement Butterfly on it. So you can see this is the sort of thing that you can be doing. So we've got the Statement Butterfly. So kick and start in later on with Cartload, and that's 3 hours going straight into a craft vault. So you don't need to then go all into another page. You can just keep watching and it'll go straight into Cart Vault. However, what I would do and I would suggest is, certainly with this collection here, if you want it, go across on our website now. Everything from all of the shows, Craft Vault as well as Masterclass, as well as Cartload, all the deals are all live already at the moment. So what we can do is let's have a look and see. Susan Elliott, that's what I'm missing, is hugging my friends. I know all of us here at Crafters Companion, certainly on the TV team, are huggers. We do like to give each other a hug, so it's really quite hard. Lorraine on Facebook saying, I love horror films too, but I think the books can scare you more. I've heard that. Not much of a reader, but I have heard that. Angela on Facebook, I am a nurse. Real blood doesn't faze me, but I cannot take fake blood. Cannot watch horror films. Work that one out. Now, do you know something? I'm like Debbie, I love all that. I can't watch my blood getting taken. I just can't watch it. I'm like, no, can't watch it. Strange one. We've then got June on Facebook saying, I ordered those butterfly ones. Brilliant. And Samantha on Facebook saying, thank you so much for getting it in stock, Craig. I've wanted this for ages. I know, because I've seen you on social media hunting for that one, Samantha. We've got Janine from on YouTube saying hello from Australia. Evelyn on YouTube, I can't always get up at 4 a.m. to catch Craig live, but when I do, I love it. Well, whether you watch live or whether you watch back, I really, really appreciate it. Sarah Brown on Facebook, Judy Kyles on YouTube, thank you so much. Judy, absolutely. Anything that you see us make, any of us, take a snapshot and recreate it if you want. It's entirely up to you. Right, let's go back to Throwback Thursday. Seeing this picture just coming up in a minute. Did you guess this right? Did you guess who this was? Was it either of the Debbies? Was it maybe Sarah? Was it Leanne? A lot of you are actually thinking it's Leanne. It could be Jan, or it could, or is, Fiona! Absolutely. So congratulations to Marilyn Bennett. She's on YouTube and she guessed that the picture would be Fiona. It absolutely is. It is Fiona. Absolute cutie in that picture. Now, what I need you to do, Marilyn, is email. The address is coming up on your screen. And hi! So what I need you to do is email prizes@crafterscompanion.com. Just put your name and just put, even just put Wake Up Call, Throwback Thursday, with obviously your name and your full address. And we will get that email, that voucher email to you, whether you're here in the UK or US of A. It doesn't matter. You're going to get it your way anyway. So there you go, prizes@crafterscompanion.com. Now, we are at the end of Thursday for this Wake Up Call show, but that's not the end. We're only starting the day when it comes to shows on Crafters TV. So this is what we've got there coming up throughout the rest of the day. So coming up very shortly with Debbie as well as Ben, we've got Craft Vault. So that's 11 a.m. here in the UK, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 a.m. Pacific Time. Then what she's going to do is she's going to be back after that one for Masterclass, and that's going to be 1 p.m. here in the UK, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Pacific Time. But then she's in the building, and she is literally already in the building as we speak. She's going to be popping in. She's going to be on for the whole lot of Cartload. So that is then going to be 4 p.m. here in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern Time or 8 a.m. Pacific Time. So that is Sarah when it comes to Cartload. But What I need you to remember, it's 3 hours long. 3 hour long cartload that's going straight in to an hour long craft vault. So you don't need to do anything. Watch cartload and you can keep on watching. It's going to go straight in to craft vault. So basically you've got 4 hours of Sarah and Ben tonight. So there we go. So as I say, cartload is 4 p.m. here in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Right, that was another jam-packed but fun show. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your company today. Tune in tomorrow for some fun and games and hilarity. Wonder what can go on with myself and Ben. Absolute pleasure having your company. Thank you to Laura. Thank you, Adam. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.